It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. I know Elton John just wrapped up his multi-year worldwide over 300 show farewell tour. Didn't say he'll never do live shows again, but as far as the whole go on tour thing. So I saw this article, really interested me. It is at faroutmagazine.co.uk. The band that has sold the most tickets since records began. Records, by the way, began in 1982. So, for instance, they say the Rolling Stones, well, you know, they were around for a long time before 1982, but that's when they started keeping track of all this stuff. They are not number one on the list. What? How could that be? Well, just, 1982. Notable artists in the top 10 are Metallica, Elton John, Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and Billy Joel. Now, check this out. The Dave Matthews Band, since 1982 now, they've sold 23 million tickets, and they are in second place. All right, argue among yourselves briefly. Who do you think is the number one all-time ticket-selling band since, 1982? How about U2? Yeah, U2. They started to rise in popularity right around then. They've always played giant stadium shows, and to date, they've sold over 26 million tickets. How about that? Pretty wild, right? So, U2, and then the Dave Matthews Band, and then the Rolling Stones. Wow. All right. Have you seen any of these bands? I think I've seen all of them. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. It's kind of expensive to see these bands now. At 993thevine.com, we have fun music and great information all day long. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. I'm Big Rick Stewart. Hey, I hope you're having a great weekend. I mean, even if you're working, I know hospitality world, right? People work and it's like, man, it's Saturday. Work. It's like your busiest day. A big shout out and a big thank you to a legend that has recently passed away, Reeves Calloway, who you may not know, but that's okay because you probably heard of a Callaway Corvette. These are hot-rodded Corvettes, street legal, the whole thing. Well, Reeves Calloway started this whole business down in Southern California in Newport Beach. He recently passed away at 75 years old. Little background, he was a racer and a champion and did all kinds of fun stuff. And then he got a hold of a Corvette and he developed a twin turbo kit way back when in the 80s. And you could buy this through Chevy dealerships. A standard Corvette offered about 240 horsepower, but his twin turbo Corvette gave you 382 horsepower. And in the 80s, that was like one of the most powerful cars for sale at the time. His most famous of all time, the one that really, is the go-to, was called the Sledgehammer, a Corvette with an 898 horsepower twin turbo V8, top speed 254.76 miles an hour. And no, I don't think you can do that like on the freeway, not even in LA at 3 in the morning. His son, Peter Calloway, now runs Callaway Motors, and they still make these hot rod Corvettes. He says Dad's passion for making beautifully designed and crafted machines can be seen in each and every project, and that we remain devoted to executing to the highest standards. I feel fortunate to have grown up working with him and the company. And Callaway Corvettes hold their value because it is a name. And thank you very much, Reeves, for everything you did for the Corvette world. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. We have fun music and great information I saw a little story at the Wine Spectator about one of my favorite Napa Valley places over there on Silverado. That would be the very one and only Chimney Rock Winery. They were recently on television as part of Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars. This is a competition show, and the winner gets $250,000 from Chef Gordon Ramsay. He's kind of foul-mouthed. He seems like a mean guy, but they say he's actually not. I don't know, maybe it's a TV thing. Anyway, so you get this money to help out your food startup. So they ended up going to Chimney Rock, hanging out with their awesome winemaker, Elizabeth Viana, and she helped them come up with a custom blend. And it was all for the television show, and it was to compete to make a gift basket. So they made a special wine. One had a red wine with a spa-themed basket. Another one had a white wine with a picnic theme. So how did they do? Well, Elizabeth says they kind of did okay. The first day, maybe not so good, but they showed them what a graduated cylinder was and gave them a cheat sheet and gave them a very short list of options to blend, which is kind of a helpful thing. And they ended up making some pretty good wine in the whole thing. The winemaker from Chimney Rock pointed out that both teams should have taken advantage of an opportunity to put Napa Valley on their label, calling that a huge misstep in a contest about marketing and branding. All right, that's kind of cool. All part of Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars. And you are old school Napa Valley if you remember Chimney Rock, the golf course, which was where the vineyards are now. Building is the same and it was all there, but it was a big, beautiful golf course right off Silverado Trail. Now they make big, beautiful Napa Valley wines. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information and free tickets. Woohoo! Now, don't mean parking tickets or speeding tickets. Don't give those away. Come on now. We're talking about contests, tickets. All you got to do is text. Are you ready? Here we go. I'll do this twice, but then that's it. You got to pay attention. Coming to town for 3 days. A really awesome lineup as part of the Blue Note Jazz Festival. It's going to be at Silverado, and you can go for free. All you have to do is text FESTIVAL to 844-333-6993. See how easy that is? Blue Note Jazz Festival, tickets up for grabs. Text FESTIVAL to 844-333-6993. Now, as you probably know, being a big music fan like you are, there's a ton of shows coming to Napa and the Bay Area and more. We have all kinds of tickets up for grabs, like 1975 at the Golden One Center, local natives coming to the Fox Theater, all kinds of good things. So be listening for these text words and numbers, and make sure to check out the contest page at 993thevine.com. Oh, and one more thing. Good luck! And if you need a +1, I don't know, I might be hanging out with nothing to do. You probably don't, though. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Think that Death Valley is a place to go when we're having a big old giant heat wave? Not for me. Maybe for you, but you know what? Some people love to go there. And they take a selfie with a thermometer that says 120 degrees or something. Well, I read this article about people that love going to Death Valley in the summer. By the way, the record temperature in Death Valley, it says officially 134 degrees in July 1913, according to the Park Service. Although there's some question whether that was accurate or not, but I'm sure it was really hot. Hey, even the overnight lows can be in the triple digits. I mean, it gets really hot down there. So do they close Death Valley? They do not. Death Valley National Park stays open. They do have signs warning hikers not to venture out after 10 a.m. So yeah, do your stuff early and then maybe go out for the evening. The rangers there do make patrols, but they say there's no guarantee that lost tourists will be reached in time. The precautions vary across parks and landscapes. This is from the Associated Press, and this is all according to Cynthia Hernandez, a Park Service spokesman. Certain trails might be closed if conditions are too hot and dangerous. Alerts and restrictions are posted on websites and all that good stuff. But you know, more than 1.1 million people visit Death Valley National Park. It's the largest national park in the lower 48. And check this out. Of those 1.1 million people, about a fifth of the visitors come in June, July, and August. They go to places like Badwater Basin, made up of salt flats, the lowest point in all of North America. And for sunrise, Zabriskie Point, they say, is a prime sunrise viewing spot. Death Valley in the summer. Wow, some people are totally into it. Me, not so much. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information. I love playing these songs from my time at Live 105 and K-Fog. New songs in the mix. Some classic rock from my time at K-Fox. And I don't know, just kind of whatever. That's kind of what it's all about. It's all about fun and whatever. And some fun music and great information in the mix. Like, there are details now, official details, because they've kind of been teasing this for, I think, almost a year now. Harley Davidson's electric motorcycle division. It's actually kind of a separate company owned by Harley Davidson, but they made this their own thing. They're called Livewire. So Livewire is coming out with another electric motorcycle, the S2 Del Mar. Now, this is more of a sporty kind of cruise around town thing. You're not going to be traveling across the country, doing your easy rider thing on this electric motorcycle. But if you cruise around town, it sounds like you're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, so here are the specs on this new Harley Livewire Del Mar motorcycle. 84 horsepower, a lot of torque, 194 foot-pounds of torque, which all turns out to give you a 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds. Tops out at 103 miles an hour, and everybody wants to know about the range. All right, controlled riding, not going crazy. The range is 113 miles. That'll get you around town. Highway range at 50 miles per hour gets you 70 miles. At 70 miles an hour, it drops down to 43 miles. It's going to run about $16,000. So it's not a cruiser. It's not replacing the other Harley Davidsons. It's more of a high-performance commuter, fun, bop around town electric motorcycle. Plug it into home overnight and give it a full charge and you're good to go. And it looks really cool. And it does not sound like a Harley Davidson. So you won't make your neighbors mad. I'm Big Rick Stewart. I might look into one of these. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and K-Fog, some current songs, lots of surprises, and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.